Fun fact, pandas don't hibernate because their bamboo diet doesn't allow them to build up enough fat reserves. Pandas do not hibernate in the winter like other bears. This is all wrong. Your information is wrong. I mean, listen, I love the energy. I love the energy. I love you coming in here talking about pandas. I love a good panda. But that doesn't make any sense. First of all, pandas build up quite a lot of fat reserves. Second of all, there are a lot of bears that don't hibernate, and it's not because of their diet, it's because it doesn't make sense to, right? Hibernation is a behavior that generally has more to do with climate than diet, right? Think, for example, about a squirrel, right? Squirrels enter torpor, which is closer to hibernation than anything that a panda does. And they don't do that because they eat a high-fat diet, although, you know, nuts have fat in them, surely. Seeds have fat in them, but there's just, you know. They do that, you know, because they have to, because they live in cold places, right? Squirrels enter torpor? Yeah! It just doesn't make a ton of, sense, right? That a panda's climate doesn't really require hibernation. Oh, they migrate down to lower lands! I did not know that. I did not know that. That is a delightful fact, and now we're all learning together. And the other thing is that a panda's diet is a lot richer than we thought. For a long time we thought, like, oh, the only fully herbivorous member of carnivora, right? Oh, they don't get enough energy from their food, right? There was a while when I feel like there was this dumb copy pasta that was circling on the internet where people were like, pandas should literally die because they don't mate enough and they only eat plants? But that's just not true. I mean, first of all, there's quite a lot of protein in the tender new growth of plants. If you're eating the right parts of plants, and the right kinds of plants, there is actually a lot of energy to be gained there, even without like a complex fermenting stomach. And also, on top of that, they eat a lot of bugs. The thing about eating bamboo, right, is that it's shelter for a lot of bugs. A lot of bugs are in there, and they're eating them. And that's a feature, not a bug. Your animal autism activated. That deserves a follow. Also, pandas spend a lot of energy to process the otherwise poisonous bamboo shoots. Yes, that is true. That is true. And just to process bamboo in general, right? Carnivorans, right? That is to say, all of the dogs and dog-like guys, including like seals and bears, and all of the cats and the cat-like guys, including like the frickin' fossa and hyena and stuff. That's all together as carnivora. And so they don't have the kinds of complex stomachs that like ungulates have for digesting plants, right? And plants take a lot of work to break down because all the energy is in cellulose. And so broadly, you need somewhere where you can ferment all that stuff. You can feed it to the microorganisms that live inside of you, and they can break it down for you, and then you can, you know, have food to eat. And pandas, they're coming from a lineage that doesn't have those big fermenting stomachs, right? So they kind of had to like kit bash it, you know? Pandas are closer to raccoons than bears? You're wrong. I don't know what to tell you. You're wrong, actually. Pandas are 100% bears. There was a time when we believed this, but we don't anymore. It's wrong. It's kind of like sunfish. Oh my god, yeah, I just saw the Hank video on sunfish, and it made me so happy because I didn't like that everyone was ganging up on sunfish, man. Like, I saw the Kurzgesagt on sunfish. I just saw the thumbnail for it, and they were like, stupid idiot fish is dumb. And I was like, frick that guy. Frick that guy. I hate the whole thing about how like, sunfish are so dumb. It's like, I don't know, man, they're still freaking alive, aren't they? So anyway, it made me happy that he was like on their case for that. But yeah, no, red pandas and giant pandas are not that closely related. They are both carnivorans, but they're not that closely related. And for a long time, we thought that they were, and therefore that pandas were closer to raccoons, but they're not. They're bears. They're proper bears.